the Bridge program in mathematics. For today's video, we are going to discuss about solving quadratic equation using a quadratic formula. So if the quadratic equation is given by ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0. Again, if we are given a quadratic equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0, then the quadratic formula is given by this formula. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So this is now the formula that we are going to use in order to solve the quadratic equation. So for us to understand more on the concept of quadratic equation using a quadratic formula, let's have example 1. Use the quadratic formula to solve this equation. X squared plus 6x is equal to 16. Here is the solution. So first, you have to rewrite this given equation into the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. That is in standard form. So x squared plus 6x minus 16 is equal to 0. Now take note, this is now in standard form. So we have a is equal to 1, b is equal to 6, and c is equal to negative 16. So using the quadratic formula, all we need to do is to input the values of a, b, and c to the formula that we have. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So we have b, which is equal to 6. So this formula becomes negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 6 squared minus 4 times 1, which is the value of our a, times negative 16, the value of our c, over 2 times 1. So as a continuation, we have x again is equal to negative 6 plus or minus, and then after simplifying the expression inside the radical symbol, then we came up with 36 plus 64 over 2 times 1. And this is equal to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 100, because 36 plus 64 is 100 over 2. Then this is equal to negative 6 plus or minus 10, because the square root of 100 is 10 over 2. And then simplifying that, for the plus sign, we have negative 6 plus 10 over 2. Negative 6 plus 10 is equal to 4, and then over 2, then we have x is equal to 2. And for the another x value, so we have x is equal to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 plus 64 over 2 times 1. So we have negative 6 again, plus or minus the square root of 100 over 2. And then we have negative 6 plus or minus 10 over 2. And this time, instead of using the plus sign, we use the negative sign. That is negative 6 minus 10 over 2, which is equal to negative 6 minus 10 is negative 16 over 2 is equal to negative 8. So we have solution set, which is negative 8 and 2. But again, we have to verify this first in order to prove that the two values that we got, the 2 and negative 8, are really solutions of the quadratic equation. So as your exercise, you have to check this one to verify if the two values are solutions of the quadratic equations. I think you are now ready to try this exercise. Use any method to solve the following quadratic equations and make sure that all methods will be used. So in this exercise, this is just like a summary of all the learnings that you had, like applying all the methods. First, using the factoring method. Next, by square root property, completing the square, and then using the quadratic formula. So the first is x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0. So all you need to do is to solve that using all the methods that we had. Number 2, 5x squared is equal to 13x plus 6. And number 3, 2x squared minus x minus 1 is equal to 0. And number 4, x squared minus 3 is equal to x. Number 5, negative r squared plus r plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so that's it. And thank you so much. I hope and we hope that you learned something from this video. Bye!